what she said.
What's going on, guys? Today's video we're going all Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen, pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. So I'm wearing this shirt, it's not unbuttoned low enough though, I'll probably need to unbutton it somewhere down here to be representative. We're going to rip the interior out of the car to start with. I've got a load of interior goodies to put in. I've had loads of deliveries over the last week or so. I'm still waiting on a couple more, so hopefully they turn up today while I'm ripping the inside out. Back seats are going to stay out. Front seats are sort of going to stay out. Carpet I'm undecided on. I think it might be a bit too... I do drive the car on the road, so I'll probably drive it to maybe like Manchester way in a few weeks' time, and I kind of feel like that'll be catastrophically unpleasant if it's got no carpet in it. Even taking one of the seats out the other day, it's quite a lot louder. But it's got to come out to weld some bits in, which we'll run through once I've turned it around and sort of got the stuff and bits out. So without further ado, I think we should just crack on, get that done and get it pulled out. Probably time lapse that, probably cut half of it because it's not going to be that interesting. And this space is just going to fill up so quickly. Anyway, let's get on, let's crack on. T-Sport. Sporty. Out it comes. Bloody hell. There it is. That took all of like half an hour, which is mental. That's then I'm going to weigh the stuff, see how much weight we pulled out, see if it's actually worth keeping the carpets out or just chucking them back in. I'll probably leave this sound deadening out. Again, it weighs like 10 grams, but you know, every little helps, and maybe the rear cut, I don't know. We'll see. Waffling. Anyway, last car I took apart was a Cayman. That was a lot harder to pull interior panels out of. This, piece of cake. So, on to the next step, which is waiting for deliveries, basically. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is put my seat in there and make some brum brum noises.
Shut up and sit down.
So hopefully I'm not about to take an airbag to the face, but we shall see. I've disconnected the battery actually quite a while ago, but the internet seems to suggest that you need to leave it for 10 minutes, and the internet knows everything, apparently. There you go, I think that's that. Obviously I have videoed this because if it does hit me in the face, I'll probably get 1 million views and a broken nose. There's some absolutely mental. There's one of like a guy lying on his bed and it fires him so high in the air. His mates are dicks, but it's pretty funny. There we go. I think that'll be it. That's a scary thing. Oh, there we go. Right, so we cracked it off. Now to make sure we avoid. Oh gosh, oh, it's moved, hasn't it? Oh, it's moved. Make sure to leave it on a couple of threads.
Three hours later.
Shut up and sit down.
Right then, so I did not document all of these because I started to say a lot of naughty words and no one needs to hear that. I have made, using the original connector. Don't ask me to see under the tape at the connector because there was an incident which led to some of those naughty words coming out. Got the airbag resistor and fuse on there. Got this little loom that brings the horn through. Just picked out a ground and the horn positive. So those thread through the boss. Gonna get them fitted up and we'll have the wheel on. I'm still waiting for deliveries, so it doesn't look like the seat's going in today, does it? Looks like I might have to bolt the standard seats back in, which is gonna look silly. Anyway, get the wheel on and then we'll have a look at how we're going to do the seats. Maybe that'll be tomorrow though.
And now for something completely different.
Some deliveries have finally turned up. Apparently my others are en route, which will let me not have my seat propped on a piece of wood like that, which would be nice. Anyway, what we're going to do in the back is where the harness comes through. This is probably not my absolute preference. It's probably not final. But I bought some CDS tubing of a suitable size and some 3mm plate. I'm going to cut a plate over here. It's going to be at least 120 centimeters squared, which meets MSA regs. It's not a competition car, but they seem like good regs to sort of aim to follow. I assume that they are spec'd for a reason. So I'm going to cut a plate, weld it onto here to reinforce it. Do that on both sides, and then we'll cut the CDS tube and weld it between the plates, and that will give us the dual benefits of a harness bar for the time being to wrap the harnesses and strap brace. So hopefully it will stiffen up the rear end as well as saving my life so I don't impale myself on my now lovely but somewhat less safe steering wheel. Look at it there. Ooh, oh, I've zoomed in way too much. Ooh, look at it there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And yeah, not actually welded anything like this before, so it'll be a bit of an experience. Fun fact, just marked this all out and my time lapse and filming wasn't working because the batteries were dead. So we're back again. What I've done is I did mark it out. As you can maybe see, I've been over, where I cleaned the metal back, I've now been over it with some weld through primer. So what I'm going to do, I've done the back of the plates as well. I'm going to mark this out again and I'll film it this time. And I'm going to tack the plates in and have a go at welding them. I'm slightly My only concern is the different metal thicknesses. So you've got 3mm plate on very thin Japanese metal. So we'll see how that goes. They're in. Christ, that's actually a really bloody hard job. They are in there, definitely in there. Seriously well melted in. Not necessarily the prettiest, but 100% functional. I'm very confident of that. I'll say less so of the aesthetic. Not terrible, but it could be better. Definitely penetrated, definitely nearly burnt the car to the ground a few times. Definitely just going to cut the bar and get it in now. There we go. It is in. Look at that. Not badly welded in, if I may say so myself. That's passable. Significantly better than trying to weld the plates to the car. The car is incredibly thin and just permanently trying to catch fire. But it got a harness bar. It's bloody solid. So, you know, hopefully now I won't fly through the windscreen. That'd suck. Anyway, that's enough for today. Seat mounts to weld in tomorrow. Hopefully that's a bit easier than these. Probably not though, because that's also probably going to try and catch fire the whole time I'm doing it, just like this did. Anyway, tidy up. Gonna paint this tonight quickly, give it a blow over, and that's it. So we are back again this morning. Got it painted last night. Considering that is not even remotely colour matched paint, it's just some random stuff I used to paint my wheels, I think it looks pretty good. Today's job, to get this welded in. These, they weld on. They weld to the, not transmission tunnel, but the exhaust tunnel. And then those cut to length, mounting between. 4 of these weld on, and the side mounts fit to them with a wee bit of movement in the captive nuts there. So I'm going to go position up the seat, get it all level, same as I did with this. I don't know if that showed up, but I did jack the car to make it level side to side. I think fore and aft is a bit more ambitious, because obviously you can change, you can't on this, but you can change the brake of your car and what have you. Side to side is a pretty given though. So let's go get the seat, work out where we want it, and hope we don't have to drill out any spot welds, taking out anything. So time lapse. I'm tired. Don't know if that comes across. front one welded in now. It's all stuck in there like that. What I've done is I've put the side mounts in so that they've got full adjustment, and I've stuck the other mount in here so it gives me the position. I'm just going to square it all up, and we'll be on our way. What is probably worthy of some commendation is, there we go, nice and level, and I've leveled the car. Hopefully follow suit. So we'll I'll do a time lapse me when I weld this, because I've already done one of me cutting. Time lapse welding, and it's going to be in. We could put the seat in. Getting the carpets back in is going to be hard, man. Oh my god, that was so much more work than I possibly thought it could be. Didn't take too long the second one. Once I'd done the first and sort of learned the settings for the welder, for the metal thicknesses and what have you, and kind of devised a way of doing it. You saw I put the side mounts on and it kind of just lined it all up for me. It went on alright. Welding doesn't look too bad. It's definitely on there, and that's the most important thing. I'm not too bad with a MIG gun, but it doesn't look fantastic, but it's all bitten into the metal. It's solid, which is key, because seating. Only thing left to do, I've just drilled this hole. I need to make it a wee bit bigger, jack the car up, and I can use the OEM seatbelt mount on this side, which is good, because trying to weld something in there, I don't know if you can weld the plate on the outside or what, but luckily that works. I've just marked up the mirror on this side, same height, distance, etc. I'm just going to jack the car up, get under there, pull the heat shield off. I've got somewhere a plate with the nut on it, can't find it, but you know, it's just a spreader plate with a nut, and I will fold it from the other side, take the underseal off from there, tack weld that on so it's not going anywhere, cover everything in underseal, including those sketchy repairs I did where I pulled out the old seat mount and where it's all burnt off in these places, and then we can finally start putting the car back together. This is probably as good a time as any. You can see I've shoved lots of stuff back in, including the carpets. I weighed it all. All of the carpet in this car weighs about 6 kilos, which, given that the rear seats weighed 35 kilos, each of these seats weighs 22 kilos. It's not too much. Obviously I could have saved another 6 kilos by leaving them out, but I do use the car every day, or most days. It is my runaround car, and I think that that 6 kilos is not going to make a blind bit of difference in reality, for the sake of having a much nicer place to be when you're just driving around. It's not like this is absolutely laden with sound deadening. It just about does the job. So that's what it is. That's why the carpet's back in it, and I think it makes the car look quite sweet, like a little club sport car. coined VW Golf Club Sport, or yeah, like a GT3 RS Porsche, but good, you know. Anyway, let's get the seat in, wheels on, just got to tighten a few things up, have a good hoover, and then we can go for a drive. I think rear trim needs to go on, but I've got to cut it to fit over the rear harness bar, so I'll do that later on. But I'll get this in, do the hoover, and then we'll have a quick look around. Well, here it is, done. Massive effort later. Let me know what you think about the whole Club Sport thing. Mounted a fire extinguisher on the back there. Got the wheel in. I actually managed to get the centre console to fit again, even with the jacked up shifter, which is pretty cool. Quite like it. Quite like the sort of exposed shifter tower there. Don't know if other people do, but I think it looks quite cool. Sort of like a subtle hint that it's not quite standard. Got the wheel in there. Got the bucket and the harness in there, which is really nice. And if we go around to the rear of the car, you can see harness bars are nicely wrapped. That one's pinged a bit, but you get the idea. Looks good. Looks good. I cut in the harness bar into the trim, so that's all in there. See, it looks pretty clean in the back. I really like it with the carpet in. Kind of sort of subtle performance road car. Like I say, it adds sod all weight, really, the carpet and the trim, for what it's worth. Taking that rear seat out, and eventually both of those seats, is going to save somewhere in the region of about 60 kilos, which is massive. So I think that's about it, really. I've summed it up so quickly. This was a huge amount of effort, and I've learnt loads doing it again. The welding on the car and everything has been really good. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's worth it. Let me know if I'm a bit of a wimp for not going full race car and just stripping it out. But yeah, till next time, have a good one.